All right, we are live. It's just the two of us today because Janne and Teemu are having a great weekend and have a day off, and they don't know anything about League of Legends, so it's just me and Cameron. How is your day, or evening, or morning, or whatever it is?
It's barely started, man. I had GSL, so that's been going on for 5 hours, and I only woke up 6 hours ago, so
All right, so not that bad.
no.
Alright, so you've been watching the GSL games, I've been sleeping through them, so I'll open the page for us so you can tell us a little bit what's going on today. So it's been 4 best of 3s today, if I'm correct.
Yeah, we played the second half of the round robin today. The first half was played on Wednesday, and that's the usual GSL schedule is Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
Uh, so the quarterfinals will be all four will be played on Wednesday, and the rest of the matches will be played on next Saturday. Um,
So it seems a little bit straightforward. It's 3 zeros and 3 1s, so not
yeah,
that close of a series.
most of the games were slams. Zest beat TY, and Zest is looking on top of his game. The Protoss Terran matchup's always difficult for the Terran
Yeah.
player, but Zest made it look. I mean, he's the Protoss player, so
Yeah.
he got the long end of the stick there. Parting Trap was the only game that went all five. Um, Trap took that one, but it was kind of a struggle for a PvP, which those games are always hard to watch and they're always the longest. And
Yeah.
Trap coming out on top most likely was the ending there, but not exactly swift as Parting hasn't been a top SC2 player for a while. Uh, Dark 3-0'd Patience, that was 100% expected. SOS upset Rogue, which nobody expected that. Rogue fresh off of an IEM Katowice victory, but a lot of people were saying, you win IEM Katowice, that's the pinnacle for StarCraft, so
Yeah.
he wasn't taking this tournament as seriously. I don't know how true that is, but that's what
Yeah. Definitely
the
not a
end
good
result
look for
was.
him.
No, especially 3-0, because you can understand a full series, but for your champion to fall in the literal next tournament,
Yeah.
3-0. Uh, Stats in Maru played the first game today. Um, Maru won 3-0. He was on top of everything. Macro, micro, production, everything was just disgusting coming out of Maru today. And Stats was like asleep at the wheel. He woke up halfway through map 3 and by then his faces were all gone. It was really sad to watch coming from Stats, but
Yeah.
definitely not how I expected it. Maru was the favorite to win and
Mm.
he definitely showed that once again, but I think Stats could have put up a way better fight than he did.
Yeah. It looked to be good today for Terran.
Oh yeah, Terran was tearing it up, running through everybody. Because the next match was Sue versus Innovation, ZVT.
Mm.
Innovation, they played one of the longest games. They it was it was a struggle. Their series was Innovation just being Innovation. He's a long time Terran, like top four Terran
Yeah.
player, the one of the original four horsemen of the Terran race is what they were called.
Yeah. He's one of the names I know for a long time. So he's a veteran.
Yeah. Deer and Cure played the third match. Cure came out 3-1 in that game, and I kind of think that was a upset to an extent. Both were evenly matched, really not favorites to win the tournament, either of them, but Deer usually plays a lot better than he did
Yeah.
today, and Cure had his number for sure. And then the last series of the day was a ZVZ. Armani versus Solar, which Solar 3-0'd. Solar should have 3-0'd. Armani was the third map was a little bit of a cheese with Drone Rush,
No.
Spine Crawler, and it was desperate at best.
Yeah.
And then we have our quarterfinals. Like I said, they start on Wednesday. Zest versus Trap. The way Zest has been playing, he was in the finals of IEM Katowice. He's not gonna face Rogue along the way, so
Yeah. This
I
is
don't see Trap beating him.
this is building to be PVT final.
It's definitely looking like it could be. Uh, Dark Dark versus SOS will be the second match played on Wednesday, which Dark should win. Dark is a very good player. Dark, very good Zerg. He's the BlizzCon champ, WCS champion from 2019, so he's still up there. Zest though is on point, so if it's a Zest Dark final, it'll be close.
Yeah.
If it's Zest SOS, I'm just gonna say Zest is moving on to the finals again. He hasn't had to play too many non-PvP matches. Maru Innovation will be third. There, a couple years ago they would have been evenly matched, but Maru's gonna come out on top here for sure.
Yeah.
And then Cure Solar, that's kind of a toss-up. I think I'm leaning more towards Cure than I am Solar, just because Cure's a bigger name. Solar's been around a while, but Cure, the Terran should probably keep steamrolling through this tournament. So
Yeah.
but it's kind of it's with Rogue out and with TY out. Those were my two favorites from the top. Two of my favorites from the top half of the bracket. It's pretty open, I'd say, with Zest and Dark. Either of them could make it to the finals, and then Maru is probably going to steamroll all the way through, but we'll have to wait and see until Saturday. So
yeah, it's definitely something we're going to be looking up in upcoming podcasts.
Yeah,
so
not much else to be said about that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to have GSL back.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's good. It was a longer break, as pretty much every game had, because of the winter break and Corona. So it's good to be back. But yeah, maybe we should switch to our main topic, which is League of Legends. And
heck yeah.
And we had the first online games of LEC yesterday, and we had some interesting games and shit ton of technical difficulties. I don't know if you watched the broadcast, but
no, I was reading them all though. I was reading all the tweets.
Yeah, it was something else. I don't think we had one game that went smoothly. It was. I think the biggest problem was that Berlin is not prepared to have everyone at home watching Netflix and not partying at the clubs. So the internet in Berlin was. It was bad. I think I have no other idea how they could have fucked that up so badly, because it was robotic sounds from casters and teams not able to connect to server and things like that, and I think pretty much every game we had to change casters middle of the game because they're lagging out or something like that. So that's not good. But of course they had 1 week to switch from offline setup to online, so it's understandable, but still it wasn't good. And the G2 Rogue game was played totally without casting, so it was like watching a Scream game because no casting, no audience, no anything. So you struggle to get in a groove of the game. But I hope today is better. They have one day to fix their problems, so I'm hopeful.
Yeah, it's a unfortunate sequence of events for sure, but they're doing the best they can, and I appreciate that. I didn't watch the games
Mm,
obviously, but I'm assuming the LCS is going to be in a similar boat.
yeah,
Hopefully they're gonna try and shore up some issues since they've seen the LEC go
yeah.
first. But it is what it is. They're gonna.
Yeah, it's total test run. I don't know if they even considered ever to go online.
Yeah.
So it's they have to build it from the scratch. So it's understandable that you have some problems. And of course the corona situation in Europe is not helping because internet providers are already having issues, and Netflix had to lower their quality of videos for Europe because our network is overloaded. So it's a known issue, and it totally affects for online gaming too. But I think enough of the technical difficulties. We had some good games and not so good games, but the first game, Mad Lions against SK, it went as we predicted. Mad Lions didn't really give a chance to SK. It was a one-sided game, and well, all the technical difficulties and not so good gameplay. It really didn't raise the mood for the rest of the games, but Misfits against Schalke totally did, because Schalke really stepped it up. They really performed well, and they kicked Misfits Gaming's ass. And it wasn't like cheese or anything. They just played better than Misfits, and totally deserved the win. So Schalke is really stepping up, and they are making everybody hear their noise, and they will be strong contenders for summer. I'm sure of that, because
Yeah.
winning Misfits is a big deal.
Do you think that playing online has affected, or did it have an effect on Misfits or any of the other teams, like drastically compared to how they'd play on stage?
Um, I don't think that it's that drastic, because like Mad Lions, Misfits, Schalke, SK, Vitality, they are full of players that played like EU Masters last year, and it's online tournament, so they are used to play online. So I think the bigger thing is for Origin, G2, Fnatic, maybe Rogue, that hasn't been playing online for quite a while. Quite a while. So, but I don't think that online versus offline in Europe isn't that bad, because we don't have that big of a ping in online gaming, because our servers are pretty much in the middle, so we don't have that much of a ping. Like in NA, it's bigger thing if you play around the country. But I don't think that's really an issue in EU, especially amount of rookies we have, who are, I think, more used to online playing than offline. So I don't think that's really affecting. I think the 1 week off is more of an effect than online gaming, because some of the teams came out with the different champion picks and strategies than before, so they definitely used the time well. And
Right.
and there was like new picks, like Trundle was really popular this week. Galio makes comeback also, and those are the picks we haven't really seen in EU before this. And Kalista was banned, Pantheon was open, and like in Fnatic versus XL game, there was 9 out of 10 bans to bot lane, so it leave much open for other positions, so it was pretty interesting. It was 5 ADCs banned, so
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
so we saw Kaisa versus Draven in bot lane.
Oh wow, I gotta go watch that game.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so some interesting stuff in strategic point of view, because one extra week to like try something out, because in middle of the season you really don't have that much time to try something new, because every other week you have a new patch and you have to get used to that patch, and you really don't have time to really prepare something special like 1 or 2 picks at a time. But now you had 1 extra week, so it really showed in some teams games. But about Excel and Fnatic, it was actually pretty good game overall. Not maybe the best game of the day, but because so much was open. I think Set was the only ban outside the bot lane, so it left so much things open. We saw Pantheon and we saw Ornn and things that are usually banned. So it everything was open. Top laners and mid laners can pick whatever they want. So that makes the game pretty different than we usually see. So that was moderately good game, but Fnatic really steamrolled Excel in the end. So they didn't really give any chance to Draven to pop out. So they started getting first blood before the stream even got to game. They were showing the player rosters, and when the game feed came up, it was already first blood. We saw the Thresh, the Blitzcrank giving his last breath in the stream. So, but I still don't know what happened there. I don't know how Blitzcrank can get caught up in the river in level 1. So I have no idea what happened there. But it's Fnatic special level 1 strategies. So good start for them, and actually pretty convincing victory against Excel. That was the one game we thought we might see some upsets, but Excel wasn't even near. Origin Team Vitality actually was played as last game because Origin couldn't connect the game server, and they were playing from Denmark, while others were playing in Berlin, so that might have be a part of the issue. But it was played as a last game, and Vitality actually did pretty well, and they really challenged Origin. But Origin played their own style, slow and steady and boring game, and in the end they won the game. But Vitality really tried to have an effect on the early game and shut down the Origin, but they didn't get enough of the lead. So, but interestingly, Origin in the mid game had more kills, but still was behind in gold because Vitality played the map better, which is pretty unusual for Origin, because Origin usually like farms well and takes objectives well. But in this game, Vitality really played macro better than Origin, but Origin is so much better in team fights and strategically in late game, so that's how they win this game. But Vitality really showed up. And G2 against Rogue, it was pretty much a scrim game from my point of view, and I think Krabs also tweeted that this feels like a scrim because yeah, both teams played pretty standard. They didn't do anything special. Okay, we see Talia ADC but it's capped, so it's not that special thing he's played that before. Um, yeah, G2 pretty convincing win after pretty boring game. Nothing special there. Like I think the Misfits against Schalke and Excel against Fnatic are the games that was the most interesting ones. Origin games never are interesting, and then G2 Rogue was well, it was not a good game in that sense. So was not the best opener for online LEC, but well, you get like top teams against bottom teams matchups, so it's really not uh, the good way to start because there are no real chances for upsets. Of course, Schalke did it, but it's like one in a five.
Yeah. Seems like all of the favorites definitely came through this time
Yeah,
around. Rogue losing to G2 kind of. Well, I guess Misfits lost too. Okay, so I guess they're still fighting that out. But
yeah. The Rogue, Mad, and Misfits for fourth is gonna be interesting now that Misfits fucked up their lead. So that's something we have to look because everybody wants to be the fourth so they can get to upper bracket.
yeah,
So that's something we can still follow. But other than that, I don't think there's that much happening because Origin Fnatic G2 to match up. It doesn't really matter if you are first or second or third because you're anyway going to be in upper bracket. And
yeah.
maybe if you're first, you can face Rogue or Mad Lions, and it's a little bit easier for you. But I don't think these teams really care if they are third or second. So they just want to find a crew for the playoffs. Yeah, but for today we have Schalke versus Vitality, and both of these teams really stepped up yesterday. So we joked about yesterday that this might be the game of the week, but it actually might be because
Yeah.
both of these teams played very well and had the most interesting games of the day. So I really think this game might be real good entertainment for us because both of these teams really want to show each other that they are not the bottom of the table, and they really stepped up yesterday and they are used to playing online. So I think this gonna be a blast. Yeah,
That being said, Schalke is 4-11, while Vitality is 1-14.
yeah,
And Schalke just came off of beating Misfits, and they beat G2 earlier.
yeah.
So, are they clear-cut favorites over Team Vitality?
Yeah. You have to say that they are favorites. Vitality has been bad, but I don't think Vitality is the worst team of the league. I think SK Gaming is worse than Vitality right now. So I really hope Vitality gets some wins from these bottom of the table matches, so they can show it in standings that they are better than SK. Because I honestly think Vitality is way better than SK after the changes they've done. But we'll see. But Schalke is solid team. I actually think Schalke is a team that we predicted them to be after the changes. So I think they have a chance to upset the top six teams, and they should win against the bottom teams. So Schalke is really stepping up.
Yeah, we'll have to look at them again come summer because I really did think that they were going to be a banger team.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, they're still, they're pulling off Misfits upset, G2 upset. They have 4 wins. They're not last place. A little more refinement, and we'll get there. So what about SK Gaming and Origin?
Yeah. After a banger game, we'll see the Origin game, which really I fucking hate Origin this season. It's so obnoxious to look at their games. I just fucking can't stand their decision making. Like even if they're like 10k ahead, they're like, okay, we play for Dragon Soul and we play to not make risks and like every other team they're like, okay, let's group meet and end this game, and they're like, okay, let's end this 10 minutes from now, and it's fucking waste of time to look at their games, because you know that they're going to win after like 10 minutes and then they win at 40 minutes, and like everybody knows how the game will end, like last 30 minutes of the game, but they still play it slow and carefully and without any risk. Okay, it's definitely work for them. They are second team at the standings and really competing for the first, but it's really boring to watch. But about this game, Origin will definitely win. SK Gaming is the worst team in the league, and Origin is second or third best. So there's no say about that.
How
Um,
many LCK games have you watched this season?
uh, I've watched some of them. It's like something I do when I write. It's in my second screen. So especially when the LPL wasn't up, so I watched like I've like I can say I listened LCK games. Maybe not to watch that many.
Because it sounds like uh, every LCK game is an Origin game. To me, that's what it sounds like. They play ping pong for fucking 40 minutes, and then one team wins.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's Origin.
Yeah, like LCK, but in LCK there's possibility that that other team wins. Like it's not decided before like the last team fight, or not usually. That both of the teams play ping pong and both of the teams play slow. But in Origin games, like Origin is clear winner after the early game, and they still play it slow. So that's like annoying for me. But
Yeah.
in LCK, you have some hope for comeback for the team, or it's close, but both of the teams like don't make any decisions. But in Origin game, it's not even a close one. So it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't like Origin. I was Origin fan in the past, but I really don't like the current Origin. Like in a viewer point of view, in
Right.
like an analyst point of view, they give me much to analyze because they are playing differently than other teams, and like betting point of view, they are pretty consistent team. So they are pretty easy to predict, but to watch them play, it's obnoxious.
Hey man, come Worlds time, they might just be the last bastion to beat LCK.
Yeah, and actually, in in worlds that style of play can actually work, because it's something that LCK teams do, and the EU has shown that they can compete with Asian teams in their own field. So Origin might actually do well in international stage. Like their play style is definitely better than Fnatic's one for the international games.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because I think Fnatic are playing very well uh, for like the LEC, but if they gonna take the same chaotic trying new things, playing aggressively game style against like LPL teams or LCK teams, they're gonna struggle. So they have to do something about that during the summer, because the current Fnatic will get slapped from in Worlds if they get there.
Right.
But yeah, the Misfits against Mad Lions. That's actually, I think that's our match of the week, if I remember correctly. And I've done a little bit more research about this game, and of course the yesterday's results makes a difference, because Misfits wasn't really that strong yesterday, and I think Febiven is the one who's being hit the most for online games, because he didn't perform that well yesterday. So that leaves an opening for Mad Lions, because usually the mid lane is the place where Mad Lions can lose their games, and then Febiven is the perfect mid laner to punish that. But yesterday, Febiven wasn't that good, so I hope he will get the form today, and then they can beat Mad Lions. But if the mid lane goes even, or Mad Lions favorite, Misfits has no chance, I think, because Garci has been so good at bot lane, and their jungle top play 2v2 has been very good, so I think Misfits has to step it up, and they have to play around the mid lane if they want to win this. But
Yeah, now
yeah.
that Rogue and Misfits lost yesterday and Mad Lions
Yeah.
won, now they're all tied at 9-6.
Yeah.
Which really opens up that fourth place race. And if Misfits drop or Mad Lions drop, that could really screw them moving forward, trying to get that. I mean, Rogue plays Fnatic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mad Lions is looking pretty good for that fourth place spot.
Yeah, if they win this, they are definitely going to go for the fourth place, because I don't know. They're playing Origin and Fnatic next week, so they're kind of fucked in that sense. But and Misfits are playing G2 and Vitality, and Rogue are playing SK and Schalke. So Mad Lions really need this win, because they are not
they
going
do.
to win 2 games next week. But neither is Misfits. So I think the team that loses this one is out from the fourth place competition. Yeah. Definitely, because Rogue has 2 easy games next week, or easier games next week. So we have to expect that Rogue wins 2 games next week, and we have to expect that Misfits are winning 1, and Mad Lions maybe ain't winning at all. So
Yeah.
Misfits, the Mad Lions still has to win against Fnatic or Origin if they want to be the 4th team. And Misfits, if Misfits wins today, they are pretty strong. And whatever happens to Rogue, and Rogue is still strong for the 4th. So Mad Lions is in the worst position for now. But if Mad Lions wins today, it's pretty much free 4th position for Rogue.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be
it's
interesting.
tight.
What
Which
we will
brings
see.
us to
But I think Mad Lions are actually a little bit of a favorite for this game. They played very well yesterday. Misfits didn't, and I think they can use that confidence boost to win this game. But as I said, if Fabian is playing as his best, it's definitely something that Humanoid can't handle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but the next game, G2 against XL. I really thought that XL would be team that would rise in the end of the season, while when the young buck has his effect of the team during the season, but they really hasn't stepped up. They are actually going downwards in the rankings. I think Schalke is even stronger than XL right now, and XL is pretty much the 8th best team of the league, and G2 is the best one. So there's really nothing that XL can do. And actually, XL has played pretty uh, basic. They played meta picks and things like that. So it's not something that G2 is vulnerable against. So if you want to beat G2, you have to like do something they are not expecting and surprise them. And XL is not the team to do that. XL is like one of the most boring drafters of the league. So it's not going to happen. T2 will have an easy win.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah. And the Fnatic against Rogue. That's really interesting match. Well, Rogue wasn't really convincing yesterday, but it is a team that has some potential to upset bigger teams. And it has like same strengths that Fnatic has. Like Finn has been playing like similar style than Vipo is playing, and Hansama has really shown that the few bad splits are gone, and he's again one of the top ADCs in the league, and even competing with Reckless in that part. So and the Larsen has been pretty solid. He's been like similar to Nemesis, that he's been solid overall. No like bad games, but maybe not the pop-up games either. Like even if the team is doing bad, the Larsen and Nemesis has been performing good. So like these teams are pretty similar in sense, but Fnatic's individual skill level is a little bit higher than Rogue's. So
Yeah.
it comes to the draft, and Fnatic has been trying some things, and if their experiments go wrong, the Rogue has potential to upset. But if Fnatic continues their streak of uh, like uh, good experiments, which they have done in the past few weeks. They've been really well drafting team, and if it continues, I think Rogue has no chance. But if Fnatic strikes out in the draft, it's a real possibility that Rogue has potential to win this.
Yeah, and Rogue's looking not the best, but they also have had a difficult schedule for this week.
Yeah.
So a win here would mean a whole hell of a lot for the team.
Yeah, win
It
here
would
would like put them top 4 for sure.
And then a loss for Fnatic at the end of the split here, that's gonna kill their hopes for a second place finish.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a big blow for playoffs, because if they lose for the two like top competitors so late in group stage, it's gonna be hard for them to have a confidence in the playoffs against them.
Yeah.
So win today for Rogue would be massive, both in standings and for playoffs. But I think Fnatic has this. They've been
Yeah.
really strong lately. Even if they had their like not so good weeks earlier in the split, I think they've performed very well in lately, and I'm Fnatic fan, and I'm always like I do the same as you do with Cloud9. I find more for flaws in them than from other teams because I know them so well, and I always
Yeah.
downgrade them a little bit. But even if I downgrade them, they're still going to be massive favorites for against Rogue.
Oh yeah. It's definitely Fnatic favored. It's just, it could throw the entire league into disarray
Yeah.
if they ended up losing here.
Yep. But yeah, I think that's enough of LEC, and let's focus on our North American brother LCS. So I have the standings open here, and we can look where we start this second to last week. And it's kind of a shit show here. Like everything is open between places 2 and 8, even 9, if Dignitas are getting their shit together. CLG is out and Cloud9 is in playoffs, but everything else is open in the air. So tell us something about
Yeah,
this.
this has been, I want to say, the most competitive domestic split for the LCS. But we say that every split, so I'm just gonna say this has been a freaking disaster. With, I mean, Cloud9, awesome. Even even just from, I had him what, sixth in my power rankings coming into the split. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm never gonna do that again until next split. But
And I think it's third or fourth, though I didn't put them in the first or not even close to first. So
yeah, and then I mean TSM, they had the weirdest first half of the round robin, and then they pulled it back in the second half, beating Cloud9 and TSM even, and that's, or Cloud9 and FlyQuest
yeah,
rather, and that's huge. That's huge for them moving forward. That's gonna at least force a tiebreaker between them and FlyQuest, I believe,
yeah, I think so too.
should things pan out the same way. Yeah, so top three probably gonna be Cloud9, TSM, FlyQuest. So, well, I mean, Cloud9's locked in at #1. Top 2 and 3, TSM, FlyQuest, I would expect. FlyQuest, I've been really mean to them and Immortals all split, saying that their wins are flukes. But FlyQuest keeps pulling them out, and
Yeah, I don't know how FlyQuest keeps winning because when I watch their games, they're not looking that dominant, and when I look the roster, they shouldn't be competing for second place. To be honest, so
yeah,
I have no freaking idea how they get win after win after like how they perform. I have no. I guess they are the ones that are uh, getting like profit about this chaos that is LCS, but I have no idea how they are second place this
yeah. A lot
point.
of people are giving credit to the Power of Evil Ignar reuniting.
Yeah,
But realistically, like, every game is a little different. Viper has been pulling out 1v5 clutches. Santorin is having, I would argue, the best split of his entire career in the jungle. Like, this guy's been underrated forever. But yeah, so I'd say they're a mixed bag, and that's what every team kind of needs right now with such volatility in the standings. Team Liquid's been abysmal. Dignitas fell off. Counterlogic Gaming has no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, I think the Power of Evil sign is the best individual signing of the off season, because Power of Evil has been really good.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to say that it was the best signing of the year.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with that. Just based off of the FlyQuest standings, like that's
Yeah,
not where anybody expected them to be,
yeah,
and
definitely.
that's probably where they're gonna finish. So
Yeah, who are they facing? Let's see.
so
They are
they,
facing Immortals, which should be win for them. They're
yeah,
facing 100 Thieves, which should be like pretty close, but still FlyQuest favorite. They're facing Team Liquid and Golden Guardians. So they are not having the easiest schedule, but they are not facing DSM or Cloud9 anymore. So there are possibilities for victory in every game. So
yeah,
they probably can keep their position.
I'd put them as favorites for pretty much every game but the Team Liquid matchup
Yeah,
because me and the rest of the West are gunning for Team Liquid to go 4-0 right here. Um, even
yeah,
though they play Cloud9. But
yeah.
let's get into this week.
Yeah, even though the Team Liquid has been real bad, but there are still some really strong individuals there, and they have to go through the playoffs, or it's gonna be such a shit show. So I think they're gonna like work hard, maybe first time in this split, and they're gonna uh, make it through. They have to.
Yeah, they have to. it's gonna be it's gonna be really upsetting even for non-Team Liquid fans to not even see them in the playoffs to
Yeah,
defend the title. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
that wasn't the reality 6 weeks ago.
If Immortals are in playoffs and Team Liquid ain't, it's gonna be something else. I don't even know how to react for that.
I'll personally be mad.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty sure I will be too, because Immortals is a team I still am not praising that high. I think they are pretty bad as a team, and I don't know how team with Eika will be competing for playoff spot. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, FlyQuest and Immortals. I've been dubbing a fluke all split, so one of them better not make playoffs.
Yeah, it would be a French miracle if Immortals plays in playoffs. But yeah, maybe we should check out today's games.
Yeah,
Well, in here it says we have only one game today, but they're played so late that it goes to next day. But it's 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. The next game starts. So these 5 games will be played today. Oh, 5 games.
yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
TSM Golden Guardians.
They did the Monday League. It seems. So it's only Saturday and Sunday for now.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. They did say that they were
Yeah, I didn't
canceling
even notice
Monday.
myself. So
Yeah, this is what it should have looked like. I mean, don't get me wrong. Monday Night League has been, from a viewer perspective, in my opinion, it has been phenomenal.
yeah,
It's been fun, and they've done a great job. And I know that a lot of people are like the numbers don't back it up or whatever, but it's a good it's a good experience. I like watching Monday Night League, but this has been 8 years of League of Legends, 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday.
yeah.
So I didn't realize at first, but
Yeah, actually, I've liked how they've done the Monday Night League with and they're having different kinds of quests there, like offline TV and some influencers
yeah,
and things like that, and it makes it like available for a bigger audience than just people that watches LCS, and that's something I think we need
yeah,
because the league schedule ain't getting that high of views that like they should, and then the international events are very popular, but the
yeah,
league, both LEC and LCS, are having the same problem that they cannot get those like international tournament viewers to watch the leagues. So I think getting new viewership with the influencers are that is pretty good for sponsorship point of view. It also uh, gives us possibility for new sponsorships, and that takes the league forward in these hard times. So I really like what they did with the Monday Night League. It's like
yeah,
horrible time for me to watch because it's middle of the week and middle of the night. So I
yeah,
haven't watched it that much, but I've done my part, and I've watched it in VODs, uh, and sometimes live when I can sleep at night. But I really like that, and it's shame to lose that, but I understand the production point of view. When we are going
yeah,
online, we can't have 3 game days.
yeah. And it just makes it all a little more uniform since we're playing from home
Yeah,
instead of at the arena.
yeah, and it's easier for teams to schedule their things when they're playing and to specific days.
Yeah.
But yeah, TSM and Golden Guardians will get us going. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so TSM fresh off I mean, week break in between week 7 and week 8, but fresh off a 2-0 on the two top teams in the league
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago. Golden Guardians shouldn't even scratch the tip of a victory here. I think TSM are fully loaded and ready to go to get and secure the second place seed. It would be nice, of course, everybody kind of wants Golden Guardians to win and make playoffs and finally get there, but we're probably gonna have to wait until summer to see that. Uh, Closer for Golden Guardians hasn't really. He's been probably the best performing player on the team overall, but it hasn't been nearly enough. And
Yeah,
Dardoch,
yeah, it doesn't really take much to be best performing player in that roster.
yeah,
To
and
be
it's
honest,
usually a toss up between Golden Glue
yeah,
and Closer, and then sometimes Haunter will sneak in there. But the bot lane, both renditions of the bot lane, just have not done it for them.
yeah. And closer was
Um,
something I was skeptical about before the season because we haven't really seen the Turkish player to do well in bigger leagues. So it was really interesting to see that Closer has really stepped up, and I rate him as one of the best junglers in the league.
oh yeah, top four, honestly. Not that good a team, but that jungler's got stuff going for him.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what happens after the spring split, because there are possibilities that some teams might want to get closer uh, for the summer split, because for example Svenskeren and Santorin hasn't really been performing that good. Of course, FlyQuest is a good place, but I don't think it's like Santorin's uh, doing that they are there. It's like the others are carrying Santorin with them,
Yeah.
and even Meteors has been like underperforming in my eyes. So there are possibilities where Closer is not playing with Golden Guardians in the summer split.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I think for the most part, teams should be, well, everyone except for CLG and maybe Dignitas. But
Mm.
Dignitas is making all their changes like we thought. So
And Texas has
everybody,
good two uh, pretty good junglers already.
yeah,
Even if I don't highly value Greek, but he is pretty good, maybe in some way.
I don't know about that one. I
I,
think
I
that
really
was,
don't. I don't like Greek myself, but
I think Dignitas sits at a nice 7-7 if they started Acadian at the beginning of the
yeah,
split, but they didn't. Uh, but yeah, and the first two games are pretty much a stomp. TSM's gonna shut out Golden Guardians. Cloud9 follows it up, and they're definitely gonna shut out 100 Thieves.
yeah,
Pretty boring start to the day,
yeah.
start to the week. And of
But
course,
then
that's
we get
assuming everything goes okay with the online games.
yeah, but those are two games that we don't really argue if they're not being broadcasted perfectly, because there's not really much going on with those games. So we
Right.
have two games to get to broadcast uh, together, and then we can enjoy the Team Liquid against Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, and Evil Geniuses, I'm pretty sure they also 2-0'd last week. Yeah, they beat FlyQuest and CLG. So Evil Geniuses is looking like they're on a rise, and Team Liquid is still steadying out. But the way that Svenskeren and Kumo and everybody else on the team has been meshing, I don't think they're very deserving of the 7-7 tie for fourth place.
Yeah, but if Team Liquid loses this, they're gonna be under so much pressure for the rest of the games.
Yeah,
They're gonna be fucked.
they can't lose. I mean, they can, but then they literally have to beat Cloud9
And Flycast.
and hope for tiebreakers to go their way.
Yeah,
And that's not, I don't
but
know,
but but to
that's
be
a lot of
honest,
luck.
if they win Golden Guardians, Flycast, and C9, they're probably going to be in par with Immortals at least. But still, they're if they lose this, they're gonna be under so much pressure. Of course, from the org and team itself, but from the fans also, because I think the fans has been pretty quiet about Team Liquid, if you consider how bad they're beat. But if they lose this game, I'm pretty sure their fans ain't gonna be quiet anymore.
Yeah, no, they've been given a lot of slack, even if you take into consideration the whole double lift benching and unmotivated and
Yeah,
everybody's coming up with excuses for them. But if they lose to Evil Geniuses or Golden Guardians this week,
yeah.
then they're not gonna be having a good time fans, players, staff, Steve. None of them. None of them are gonna be happy.
Yeah. But I still think Team Liquid should win this. They
They
should
should.
be the favorites. But there is a big but in every Team Liquid game this year. They really has been underperforming, and it's not been like one or two players. I think everyone has underperformed. Proxa has like definitely underperformed. There is few games that Impact has been just running it down. Like Double Lift hasn't been himself. I think Jensen is the most like steady performer, but even he has lacked of like big plays or solo kills or even winning the lane. So I think there is no single factor that has made them bad. It's like a combination of dozen different things.
Yeah. And like Core JJ and Jensen, they're the closest thing Team Liquid have to a rock right now, and neither of them are a very big rock.
Yeah, and Coach
So it's
JJ is like typical Korean import that he really works hard. He really wants to win. He takes things seriously. Like he's moved to LA to win the LCS and to get to Worlds, and he's doing everything to do that. I don't think that it's the same for like European imports. Like they're not doing as much to win. Of course, it's like it's not same for all the players, but usually the Korean imports they are really serious about the game and they really want to win and they move like from the totally different environment to NA just to perform well in the video game
yeah.
and it makes it different for them. They are only there to play and to win, and they are not having like same issues as Double Lift has, and I think it's unheard of that Korean import is benched because lack of motivation, and it shouldn't be. Uh, Happening to any player in this like caliber. But if I hear that Korean import is lacking motivation, why is that player in your team anymore? Because it's taking the valuable import slot. So Gorchese, he wants to go to Worlds and he wants to win the Worlds, and that's why he's in NA. And I think that even if Coach JJ is nice guy and all of that, but if they won't go to playoffs, I think he's gonna be pissed and really pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no argument there. Like if Team Liquid do make it to playoffs, I think they're not maybe favorites to win it this year, but they could definitely edge out a finals appearance over FlyQuest or TSM in the
Yeah,
right circumstance.
yeah. I really think that even in this form, uh, best of five series, Team Liquid against FlyQuest, Team Liquid will win because
Yeah.
they are so much more experienced and they are having so many picks to counter things in best of five. So I think Team Liquid, if they get to playoffs, they will not be dropped in the first round.
Yeah.
Alright, then Dignitas against CLG, our bottom two.
Yeah, this is our what is it, Schalke Vitality match for the LCS this week.
Yeah,
I mean, the numbers all point to Dignitas. Um, there's a world where Dignitas do make playoffs, and it starts with this match, but even though they should win this one and probably will, I don't think they make playoffs.
Yeah, and if they lose this, they are totally out.
Yeah.
They have no chance for playoffs. And I don't know. I don't like the Dignitas roster that much, but I do like how they've played individually and how their good games has looked. Like Johnson has been very good. Like uh, considering his lack of experience, and Froken has been solid in mm, many of the games, and if you think how Huni should look like, this is team that shouldn't be in bottom two, but they still are.
Yeah, they came out swinging.
Yeah,
They really did. And then they burned out, and I think a lot of that has to do with Grig and then Hooney being Hooney and running it down half of the games for no reason. Like he
yeah,
thinks he's got to carry the team, and then
yeah. I don't
got caught.
understand. I don't understand because this meta should be perfect for Huni. You can play pretty much anything you want in top lane. It should be perfect for him, and he's totally underperforming.
Yeah. Which, I mean, that's not to say that, he doesn't pick it up. Like, he's definitely a high caliber player, and there's a reason that his price tag was so high.
Yeah,
It's just he hasn't, really shown up for that price tag, I don't think.
yeah. Because in my point of view, they should always last pick or first pick for Huni, and let him play whatever he wants, and whatever he feels like comfortable with, and then they take Froken mid lane playing some control mates, like something that doesn't really need jungle intervention, and let the jungler play Sejuani or Gragas or some other off tank option, and then just like pick some meta picks for bot lane, and it should be good. It should be something that takes them to playoffs, or at least out of bottom two. And I don't know, they are doing that in some games, but they are not playing it correctly. And I think it's mostly Crick's fault because he plays in the wrong areas in the map, or he's not willing to play what the team needs in that situation. And I think that the jungle change should make things better. And now they've had extra week with Acadian. I hope so. And let's see how that changes things, because it's not easy for Academy jungler to come middle of the season because you have no screen time with the main team. So now the extra week might also be really good for Dignitas because they have extra week to prepare their jungler, whoever it is.
Yeah, and see, I kind of have an issue with that because Dignitas arguably has the best academy
Yeah,
roster pound for pound. So realistically, they should be scrimming each other more often than other teams would
yeah,
scrim their academy rosters. And
I agree.
I think that would make them stronger, and Acadian should be ready for the move, and they didn't do so hot with him
Yeah, they
2 weeks
definitely
ago,
didn't.
which I don't know, it's true, it was his first week on, but you lost to Golden Guardians, you lost to 100 Thieves. Those were key matchups for you,
Yeah,
and
but
the roster swap wasn't enough.
how would you like if Greek and Closer change places?
I think that would make Dignitas a top 4 team. I think I think Acadian is a great jungler, and I don't think Greg should even have stepped onto the pro stage. But Closer, I still think, is a better jungler all around than Acadian. So
Me
if you
too.
slap him on the team, scrim with him a little bit, I think it makes that Dignitas roster, because Froggen and Aframu and Johnson have all been playing great. And if you give Hooney that little bit of extra firepower under his belt, then he runs it down a little less often. That's a strong roster.
Yeah, and I think that Dignitas might have some money left in their pockets because I don't think Johnson
After the
or
Hooney deal?
yeah, but Hunidil is like the only thing that really cost them because I think everybody else is players that wouldn't have found a proper place to play. So I don't think they're asking that much. So I think they might have something left in their pockets because
Yeah.
because I think they fucked every like serious conversation with the players that had offer from somewhere else, and I think these four players didn't have any offers in the table. Maybe Afromu did, but I don't think anybody else had offers in the table. So
Yeah.
I think Dignitas can pay them pretty much whatever they want. So I think they should have left some money lying around.
And Golden Guardians need a good support.
Mm.
That's
Oh,
just facts.
yeah.
And with what Olay and I mean Olay, it's kind of it's a
Yeah.
scary one to invest in, but that might be what.
But Ole is pretty good. Like his communication is good for an import, and he's pretty stable. Even if he's not one of the best ones, he rarely run it down. Also, so he's like stable
Yeah,
performer, even if he's not the firepower or engage power some teams want.
he might just bench himself though.
Yeah, no, well, that's always a possibility. Yeah, but the last match of today, it's Flycast against Immortals.
Yeah, I want Immortals to lose.
Yeah, me too.
I think realistically, subjectively, FlyQuest should win.
Yep, definitely.
Immortals should lose. But Xmithy is still, I mean, I think Svenskeren kind of got a little too much of a pat on the back last season with that Honda MVP award.
Mm-hmm.
I think Xmithy's the best jungler NA has. And I think that still holds true on the Immortals roster.
Yeah,
It's
but
everyone
when
else.
you compare Power of Evil to Ega,
Yeah, it should be a no-brainer if that Power of Evil is just more accolades, better player, bigger champion pool, less French.
yeah, and also I'm really interested to see Viper against Soas because those are pretty much the uh, like you they are as far away in a playstyle as they can be
Yeah.
because that's gonna be interesting like if Soas is put to like Maokai duty or something like that, Viper will fuck him up.
I don't know. I think I would argue that the advantages Immortals have in this matchup are Xmithy and Soaz.
Yeah, yeah, that's a real possibility. But I really think Soas has to play something else than tanks here,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
if he plays some proper top lane champion, or Orn is something he can perform well. But if he's like put the Magai duty, it's gonna be insta lose for them. But if he gets to play like proper champion, I think it's the strong point for them because Viper's champ pool ain't that big. He plays very well, the champion he plays, but you know, he has his certain style, and that's something you can try to get advantage of.
Yeah, and if you don't, or if you leave Riven open, then that my faith in SOAS is gone, and
Yeah,
Viper's gonna run over the entire game.
yeah,
But you know, I even with those, in my opinion, top and jungle advantages for Immortals, it's power. The carries on FlyQuest are too strong.
yeah,
The bot lane has been incredible for FlyQuest, and it's been okay for Immortals, but it kind of sizzled out. Like the beginning of the split was all about the Immortals bot lane. Second half of the split, they haven't really made nearly as big of an impact. And Wild Turtle and Ignar are just kind of, I wouldn't say dominating every matchup, but they're leading every matchup that they
yeah.
have.
I agree.
So,
Yeah, I think that's enough for today's games, but we have some games tomorrow also, so let's focus on them. It's been like over an
Golden,
hour already, so let's get moving. So, Golden Guardians against Team Liquid. Very, very, very important match for both of the teams.
yeah, they're currently tied, and coming into this one, it should be Team Liquid ahead of Golden Guardians.
Yeah,
Um, should. And I think Team Liquid will edge out Golden Guardians in this match, giving them a 2-0 week, which will be a great setup coming into next week.
yeah,
Golden Guardians, if they can pull off an upset today or tomorrow against Team Liquid, then that might be all they need for that playoff push, but Team Liquid should be favored 100%.
yeah, definitely. And I don't think Golden Guardians has really a chance to win this, and with that they are out of the playoffs pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think same goes for next game. It's CLG against Cloud9.
I think the only chance CLG has to win this game, not that it matters, because this game literally means nothing for the standings.
Yeah,
The only chance CLG has to win is if Cloud9 pulls the same stuff they did against Dignitas this week in the wash your hands, whatever it was, charity tournament that they put on, uh, where they had Blabber in the bot lane and Licorice in the jungle. And so, you know, I don't see Cloud9 110% win this game.
yeah. Yeah,
Last time around,
even if CLG has looked better lately, it's really not as closely enough to win Cloud9.
I would say though, you know, okay, maybe 109% Cloud9 wins, because CLG last time they played Cloud9 might have been one of the best attempts to beat Cloud9 out of any team in the league. It was like a 35-minute game. Belter was trying to pop off. Like it wasn't as clear cut as it should have looked, but I mean, everyone has a good game, everyone has a bad game. So
Yeah. Okay, so Immortals and TSM.
I'm
So
almost afraid.
is this good night for Immortals?
I hope so. I really do hope so. I'm sorry, guys. Smithy deserves better.
Yep.
He does. But I have not been keen on the Immortals roster.
Yeah.
Uh,
I really think that TSM is performing very well lately. Not only because they win Cloud9, but they are playing good League of Legends in the last 2 weeks.
yeah, I think Dardoch has found a home.
Yeah.
I think TSM have found a jungler. I think they could maybe pick up a better top laner. But Broken Blade has been playing well. Like I don't mean to
Mm,
say Broken Blade is playing terrible.
yeah,
He's doing his job as a top
yeah.
laner.
I was very skeptical about this team and especially Dardoch in the beginning of the season. I really like the copy in here, and I like Bifrost, and of course Bjergsen is Bjergsen, but the Broken Blade Dardoch duo was something I had some doubts. But Dardoch is like pretty much doing God work for himself in this team. He has done well, and it's been something that has diminished my doubts of him, and I think it's the team for him. If he fucks this up, there's not going to be a team where he can join anymore.
Yeah, and I mean I don't see that being a reality. I don't think, because
Yeah,
which
me neither.
that's
Yeah,
I know that wasn't what you were saying, but
yeah,
uh I don't think that'll happen. I think this is a pretty set roster. Even if they make it to the finals and get reverse swept, I think they're going to be ecstatic with that result.
yeah, definitely. And I think we are seeing the glimpses of the old TSM hype happening here. They are playing well, and they will be performing well in this season. So I think it's going to be very good for the team and for the fans and for the whole community.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
Granted though, last time around, longest game of the split, TSM versus Immortals, Immortals wins.
yeah.
So
But that game was something else. It was not like basic League of Legends game.
no.
Yeah, it was not enjoyable to watch. Maybe entertaining, but the analytic point of view, not entertain, not like enjoyable.
Yeah, it was after 35 minutes it was getting old.
Yeah,
It was just
definitely.
mistakes everywhere, man. And I think TSM has shored up those mistakes.
Yeah, and I think like Dardoch has stepped up as a leader in some way, and I think that's something that TSM hasn't allowed uh, like ever to happen. That their junglers has been like uh, good good doggies for the team, and they're doing what the master tells them to
Yeah.
do. But I think Dardoch has stepped up as one of the leaders of the team in like side to side with Bjergsen. Yeah, but maybe that's enough of that, and we continue to 100 Thieves against Flyguest.
Yeah, so 2 weeks ago, all of my predictions and everyone's predictions were slaughtered with upsets everywhere all week. Um, so this week I kind of cheated and just went with the on paper favorites. So I said FlyQuest were gonna win,
Mm,
and they should win, and statistics say they'll win. But I have a feeling 100 Thieves might take this one. If Meteos can pull his shit together and figure it out, 100 Thieves on paper are just a better roster, I think, with Someday. And
yeah, even with Ryoma.
yeah, I think Power of Evil trumps Ryoma. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But if Ryoma can just go even, if he can just go even with his mid laner, I
yeah.
think 100 Thieves have the power with Cody Sun and
And
Someday
and Ryoma
take it.
has actually done that in multiple games where
Yeah,
he's playing against Niski or Jensen or Power of Evil. He's managed to play safe and managed to not lose the game for them.
yeah. And, just FlyQuest should win this game. Statistically, they should win this game.
Yeah,
But this might be the one to look out for the
upsets.
yeah, the fourth place tie between Evil Geniuses, Immortals, and 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves, I think, should edge it out, and if they really want to, they have to win this match. They have
Yeah.
to beat FlyQuest.
Yeah. So we are expecting FlyQuest victory, but we are also expecting 100 Thieves upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
and
could go either way.
yeah, definitely, and I think that can be the highlight of the week. It's gonna be close. It's gonna have a big impact on the standings. So I think that's something you definitely should look. If you only look one game this week, I think this might be the game.
Yeah. Or especially this day,
Yeah.
because you have Cloud9 CLG. That's not worth watching.
Yeah.
Golden Guardians Team Liquid should be a Team Liquid game.
Yeah.
That might be a crazy game. I don't think it will be. TSM versus Immortals, if it ends up being like the last time,
Yeah. Not worth
don't
watching.
don't don't watch it. But then you have 100 Thieves FlyQuest. That might be a good game.
Yeah.
And then Evil Geniuses Dignitas.
Yeah,
I'm not.
that's a pretty interesting match for me because that is must win for Dignitas, and it should be pretty much must win for Evil Genius too if they lose to Team Liquid today. So
Yeah, it's a important match for the standings and for everyone's hopes and dreams.
yeah,
I just don't think it's gonna be a fun game to watch.
yeah,
Top lanes Huni and Kumo. I don't see a world where Kumo actually beats Huni,
yeah,
but then you go straight to jungle with
yeah,
Acadian or Grig, and it's like, okay, but Svenskeren is so much better than both of those players.
yeah,
And then mid lane, Jizuke, Froggen. I think that's a dead even lane. It's both
yeah.
players. Froggen, I can speak a little highly of. Jizuke, I can speak a little lowly
I,
of.
I think
But
the NA has done its job to ruin Chizuke. I think
yeah,
Chizuke, like 2 years ago, as when he was at his prime, was like aggressive and innovative mid laner, and now he's just like Niski number 2.
yeah, he's running it down half the time, and the
Yeah.
team is openly blaming him in interviews for their losses.
Yeah, yeah, and I think he's actually doing the same things that Niski did when he came to play Academy League in NA, like underperforming, trying too much, uh, doing big mistakes. So there is hope for him because Niski is now really good.
Yeah,
But when he came to NA, that was not the case. Like definitely not. And I think Chizuka might have similar kind of route for and maybe it's even good for him to play some academic games and with less pressure in his
yeah.
shoulders. Who is the EG academy mid laner? Do you remember?
Um, Let me see. It's
Let's see.
5 Fire.
It should be TU right now, I think. I have never heard of this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, Firefire
I.
has left like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it seems so. His
Yeah,
contract expired.
they don't
What?
have a backup mid laner, man.
Yeah, so they have someone named Gyu. I don't know who this guy is.
And I don't think the EG Academy team is doing that great.
Oh, his name is played with name Exile in in the past, and he's played in Turkish league. He's from
Oh, what do
Lebanon.
I know? EG's the second place
Uh,
academy roster.
yeah. So it's one more Turkish prodigy, or well, Lebanon, but pretty much the same thing. Prodigy for NA. So let's see how he will perform in the future. But I don't think they can switch him and Izuke.
No.
So he's stuck playing in LCS roster. So he has to step it up. But I can like say that Bang is like a wild card. He can either like dominate the Johnson or not. So it's gonna be interesting match because there are differences in different positions. So
Yeah, there's a lot of trade-offs. I think.
yep.
Who did I say? FlyQuest. Wait,
What?
EG. I said EG should win.
Yeah. Okay.
Was my prediction.
Well, I actually think that Dignitas might take this one because there are so many trade-offs, and the trade-offs are like Dignitas favored in solo lanes, and I think this meta really is good for solo laners. So if Huni and Froken can have their matchups played well, I think it should be enough for them to clinch the victory. But if they ain't getting the best performance available, then it should be pretty easy win because they have better jungler and arguably better bot lane. So
Yeah. It's
it's
just who shows up on the day,
yeah,
really.
definitely.
But yeah.
But yeah, that's all of the games, and I just flashed the standings so you can get the reminder where we are beginning this week, and we have good previews both for LEC and LCS in our website, and we will be making a good review. I think in Tuesday for both of these leagues. So if you miss the games, you can always come here and listen our podcast and get the updates there, or read from our website the reviews at Tuesday. So, do you have any last words for our viewers?
Nope. I'm glad the games are back on. The tournaments are going again.
Yeah, me too.
Glad to have work.
Yeah, definitely. Because this is the main leagues for both of us. The LEC is the main league for me, and LCS is main league for you. Both outside of work and inside of work. So it's
Yep.
important for both of us to get the games going. But I think it's all we have for today. It has been enjoyable hour and a half. So thank you very much, Cameron, to take out some time from your busy Saturday and talk with me.
Of course.
And I think we're gonna continue this at Monday when we have the basic podcast at noon CET, and after that we have 1 hour special like viewer experience stream for League of Legends where we teach you the basics of watching LEC or LCS games. So if you are new to League of Legends or you want to share your opinion about viewer experience, tune in to our stream at Monday, and of course take our Twitters and other social medias to following, and you will get the latest updates of our podcasts and our news. So that's all for today. Thank you very much, and see you at Monday.
See you Monday.